You made a subtle pro-life fashion statement at the White House last year when the Chiefs visited after the Super Bowl. Why did you do that? Why was that important? And any plans for when you visit the White House this year?
No plans for this year, but last year a lot of thought went into it. What am I going to do? Am I going to have a chance to shake President Biden's hand, which I ended up not having? So I thought, wow, this is an amazing place. Unfortunately, there's some laws being pushed through that I don't think value all human life. One of those laws is allowing abortion to be legal in this country. So to have a tie that in Latin I thought brought attention to the unborn. So because I am trying to learn more Latin with going to the Latin Mass, I picked Vulnerari Presidio, which is to protect the most vulnerable. And the unborn are, to me, the greatest victims in our society. They don't have a voice. They don't necessarily look like humans. They're not very big. They can't fight for themselves. There's not a lot of people that are fighting for them. And I just think it's a great atrocity that's occurring in this country with massacring the unborn. And I felt like there's no better place to send this message than to the masses and to represent the unborn at a place like the White House, where unfortunately their voice is not heard.
You have been very vocal in your support for the unborn, and you and your wife have shared your grief after losing children to miscarriage. What can be done? What needs to happen to build a better culture that respects unborn life? What needs to happen now?
That's a great question, and I'm glad you brought up the miscarriages. We've had 3 miscarriages, and we've decided to talk about those more because I think a lot of times miscarriages kind of get, slid under the rug. We don't want to discuss them, but the more you talk about miscarriages, number one, you're being vulnerable to the fact that you do want to have more children, you do want to be open to life, but also that child that's inside of your wife, you can't really see when you do an ultrasound. It's kind of hard to even see that they're a human. Maybe it's too early to even do an ultrasound, but that is a human person. And even though there is a miscarriage, there is a potential opportunity to bury that child. And I think that shows reverence that this is a human life that we have lost. Unfortunately, hopefully one day we'll be able to be with them for eternity in heaven. But it's also consoling to think that God is more upset and sad at losing that child than we could ever be. And that was very comforting for me to think about that. Of course, I want to have more children and I want to meet this child, but the child's going to their true father, which is not me. And I have to be okay with that, and I have to trust in God's providence that this is just part of his plan. And with his grace, we can get through anything.